Chelsea is a very calculated, strategic player. She knows exactly what she's doing. I'm very proud of the way that she's played this game, and still, even though she's a very large threat, has laid low and under the radar. Insane to me. Mackenzie's so impressive with all of her competition wins.
Welcome to the Secret Alliance podcast, where we talk about the game of Big Brother with the people who play it. I'm Jason Guy from Big Brother Season 3. Dun, dun, dun. And here on Season 26, we're hearing from our next evictee, Leah. 26-year-old Leah Peters is a VIP cocktail server and realtor from Miami, Florida. But she originally hails from Pittsburgh. Now she's living in the jury house. She survived 9 weeks without being nominated. It's a pretty rare feat in the Big Brother house, although I did make it all the way to Final 3 with no nomination and then out the door. In this interview, we're going to hear Leah's thoughts about aligning with Angela, a real wild card this season. But then there was Tucker. And Leah also discusses her lone wolf strategy. That's what she calls it and how it impacted her game. Leah also gives us some interesting insights into current BB26 power players. Plus, she has a zing for one of her house guests. Oh, this is good. All right, we're about to get to Leah's interview, but here's how it works. We submit questions for these evicted house guests to the Big Brother PR team. They send us the pool of video responses that we share here. Some of them we're just going to put back to back, but we will let you know which ones are ours and that really fun zing one. We don't interview the house guests directly to keep the integrity of the show. They're sequestered as part of the BB26 jury. Okay, to the zing from Leah. One of the questions that came in is really fun. They wanted to know who you would zing and what would you say if you could put words into Zingbot's mouth.
I think if I could write a zing, it would be to my lovely ally, Angela. Angela, are you louder when you're awake or when you're asleep? We can't tell. Zing. Because she is always snoring when she sleeps. So, yeah, I think that's the one that I would write.
Zing! Oh, that was pretty good. I felt like she could have done a stronger zing. Like just the sound effect part, but the writing, I mean, pretty spot on there. Okay, now to Secret Alliance questions. Our first was, can you please share who you believe has the strongest gameplay at the moment and the reasons behind it? And who do you think has the potential to go far in the BB26 game?
I think that everyone that's left in the house has a very unique and impressive strategy so far, and that's why they're still here. As far as people that I'm super impressed by, I would say Chelsea is a very calculated, strategic player. She knows exactly what she's doing. I'm very proud of the way that she's played this game, and still, even though she's a very large threat, has laid low and under the radar. Insane to me. Mackenzie's so impressive with all of her competition wins, officially tied with Tucker. That's so iconic in my opinion. But I am also very impressed by Cam, laying very low and just being carried through. And the way that Rubina and Chemo haven't, won so much, but are still very insulated and protected on a personal level from the other house guests. But ultimately, I really hope to see either Mackenzie or Chelsea or even Angela. Angela's game is so impressive because, listen, she is a wild card. She's very passionate. And she's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and still had 3 vetoes placed around her neck, 2 HOHs, 1 a veto. She's 51. She's so strong and determined. I'm so impressed by her game, and I cannot believe that she has the record that she has. It is absolutely incredible, and I'm rooting for all of the women. I really hope that a woman wins this season.
We keep hearing Chelsea's name over and over. Chelsea and MJ really, really are dominating right now, between Chelsea winning HOH, then Mackenzie winning HOH, then Chelsea winning HOH, Mackenzie. If it's something to watch. The resumes are really stacking up right now. Okay, our second Secret Alliance question. How do you feel about being evicted the first time you were nominated? And do you regret not making any specific moves or alliances that could have changed your fate?
I cannot believe I even went 9 weeks without being on the block, especially with 4 and sometimes 5 people going up in the beginning weeks. I truly, though, would not change a thing. I think if I aligned myself too quickly with the other alliances similar to the other house guests, that I would not have lasted nearly as long as I did. And I think it's very easy to say if I did this or that, things would have gone differently. But I think I lasted so long in the game because I didn't do those things. And I really think that even towards the end, whenever I wanted to align myself with people, it still didn't work out. So people have their minds made up. If you're not in their plan, you're just not there. And I really have no bad blood towards anyone. I'm so grateful to have made it this far, and I would not change a thing. I recognize Angela was the wild card of the season. She's a passionate firecracker, but one thing about her is everyone that she called out on anything, she was usually right. Maybe not with the best delivery, but she always made a point. And even though at times I felt maybe a little worried about what she would do next, I ultimately prioritized gaining her trust and including her. And I knew for a fact she would stay loyal to me and take me far in the game. I felt like we had a relationship beyond the game, and I really believe that she would have stuck to that and stayed true to our relationship at the end of the day. And I'm very confident in that. Lack of privacy was definitely one of the largest takebacks of my HOH week. I didn't get the luxury of having private conversations and being able to discuss all of the different outlets amongst the other house guests of how they saw the game going. And I ultimately think that that was a huge contributor of why I made the decisions that I did. There was so many other factors, but had I had the time to fully discuss with everyone in private and talk through everyone's strategies, I think that I might have come to a different decision. However, I made the decision that was right for me at the time. I stand on it. I don't regret it. And I'm very proud of myself for winning that HOH, even if it got jinked up in the end. It's hard to say because I recognize whoever follows me into the jury house is another person watching their dream go down the toilet, unfortunately. But I would have to say I kind of hope that it's either Chemo or Cam, because I'm really loving the girl power this season, and I truly hope that it's 2 women sitting there in the final 2 chairs, because I think that it would be so iconic and powerful. I'm very proud of how far I made it in the game by being a lone wolf. I think it's very hard in Big Brother to not commit to an alliance, but I truly believe that only fools rush to take sides, and I wanted to be very confident in every single person if I chose to commit to an alliance. I think that ultimately, in the end, you do have to commit to a side, because quickly you see that there are groupings, and if you're not a part of those groups, then you are in the middle and very at risk. So because I didn't commit earlier, I think that that could have been a reason for my demise, so to speak. But I still wouldn't change a thing. I believe that my social game was strong enough to not have me put up for 9 weeks. I think that's something to absolutely be proud of. And I think I would not change a thing about that. I am looking forward to discussing everything with the other jury members. I cannot wait until we can talk about all of our own strategies and our relationships with the other house guests. But most of all, I really look forward to getting to know them on a personal level when we're not all fighting for a pot of gold. I think it's going to be really fantastic to get to know them as people outside of such a stressful and competitive environment. I think that I'm the reason why I was put up there. It wouldn't be fair to blame anybody else. I think that towards the end, I started to be just a little too open with too many people, whereas I was very much more reserved and calculated in the beginning of the game. I think that I can pinpoint to the demise of my own self by looking at just being too open with people about what my next moves were. And had I just kept those moves to myself, I think that I would have lasted at least another week. I tried pleading my case and letting people know and have some insight into my strategy, but I don't think that pleading my case anymore would have made me last any longer in the game. I think that by that point, they had already made their decision and recognized that I was a threatening player and were just looking for any reason to get me out. So with that being said, I did it to myself, and I'm very okay with that. I think it's much easier for me to accept that way. I could not blame it on anyone else. And I truly wish all the best and am rooting for whoever walks out of there a winner.
It's a lot to unpack. Certainly Leah's alliance with Angela. She knew Angela was a wild card. It was at times maybe risky move, but she valued loyalty and honesty that she felt she was getting from Angela. I mean, a question a lot of fans may ask is, was that real loyalty? We don't really know, because as we've seen in the double eviction, the next house guest to go was Angela. So in the jury house, they'll have a chance to discuss all of that. The HOH challenges that faced Leah, of course, that the janky world that she had to live through being in the backyard was just really tough to navigate. I also thought it was interesting that Leah called herself a lone wolf, and she took some time to avoid really committing to alliances, which it's difficult if you play this game of Big Brother and you sort of find yourself as someone with no alliances, or you're peripherally connected, but you're the first one to go when that alliance breaks down. That's a tough spot, a real tough spot. Leah, I thought it was interesting to see she's rooting for the ladies in there. And no surprise, Chelsea, Mackenzie, those names just kept coming up. And she did mention Angela being an impressive competitor. I think she's going to be surprised when she sees that there was a double eviction and then Angela was out. But I don't think she's going to be surprised to see how Chelsea and Mackenzie are just dominating. I thought the self-reflection was a good thing for Leah, as she realized that maybe being too open and sharing too many things and the observations almost made her seem like a threat, where people would say, okay, she knows a lot. She does see how this game is working. She sees who's powerful. And so that may have hurt her. But in the end, Leah is telling us she doesn't have any regrets. So good game. Good game, Leah. And that's a wrap. We appreciate you checking out the Secret Alliance podcast. Make sure you tell someone who loves Big Brother all about us. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, watch some more from Big Brother 26 and other previous seasons, and leave us your comments. Thanks.